And, I'm not the partying type. You know what I mean? I ain't never been to a Diddy party. I ain't never really wanted to go. But I don't go to a lot of people parties. That just ain't what I'm in it for.
And somewhat grounded accusations against Jay-Z and Beyoncé. People believe that over the years, Jay-Z's connections to R. Kelly and P. Diddy mean that he at the very least knew about some of the stuff they were up to, and possibly was even involved, especially when lawyers involved in Diddy's case right now are saying things like this.
Ice Cube made a simple remark on stage in Las Vegas last September, but it cracked open a story no one expected. Standing at the Yamova Theater, he told fans flat out that neither he nor WC had ever set foot at one of Diddy's infamous freak-off parties. At first, it seemed like just another celebrity clearing his name, but by denying any link to those tapes, Ice Cube indirectly pointed the finger at someone else, Jay-Z, the man who managed Beyoncé. The clip blew up online. Fans cheered as Cube said, "Almost 40 years rocking the mic. And I'm going to tell you right now, me and WC ain't never been to a Diddy party. You ain't got to worry about us on those mother tapes. No stage banter ever got this much traction. Social media lit up. People praise Cube for keeping the West Coast clean and..."
And I'm going to tell you right now, me and Dub C ain't never been to a Diddy party, motherfucker. Thank God. You ain't got to worry about us on them motherfucking tapes. Now check this out.
Diddy, you're hearing Diddy everywhere, okay?
Yeah.
So, did you ever have any kind of run-in with Diddy? Did you ever do anything with Diddy? Any projects you worked on with him?
He produced a few records, or had his producers do a few records on my War and Peace album, the Peace Disc. Yeah.
How was he to work with?
It was cool. He gave us great music. We flew out to New York, and I was mainly in the studio with the producer. He had a stable of producers, so I was in the studio with his stable of producers, and I think we did some great music. And I really, kind of, lost contact with him and really stopped, dealing with Puffy around 94.
You don't believe in that ghostwriting stuff, right?
No, I don't. I think that's messed up the game.
Yeah.
Especially you got... So let's go back to artists bragging on the plaques and shit they got. And they didn't even write You bragging on a record by committee.
Oh, shit.
It's just real. Like, that's why the game is twisted.
Imagine you found out Jay-Z never wrote his shit. Like, you would look at him so different.
You look at everybody different when you find out they don't like this shit. Yeah.
But the real shocker came when viewers realized what he didn't say. If he never showed up, someone else had to. That someone else was Jay-Z. And by drawing that line, Ice Cube set off a deeper investigation into who actually booked and controlled guests at Diddy's gatherings. Prosecutors now say those all-white parties were more than just crazy social gatherings of the elite. They allege elaborate sex performances, coercion secret recordings, and ultimately trafficking those tapes. They claim weren't just party souvenirs, they were tools for blackmail and power.
It's his stuff around Jay-Z right now, which is clearly damaging to him.
Yeah, and I think there's like a famous quote from someone who was acquitted, and he said, all right, where do I go to get my reputation back?
Right.
I mean, social media was a light. Beyonce's next, Jay-Z's next, all the people in Inner Circle is next.
Yeah, and the problem is there are just so many pictures of the two of them partying together, and he clearly was at a lot of Diddy parties.
Photos from P. Diddy's notorious white parties over the years are starting to resurface. Here's one in the year 2000 with his then-girlfriend, Jennifer Lopez. And the Daily Mail just dropped an article that includes a video of P. Diddy on a balcony talking to his guests. He says, quote, "Kids have an hour left, then this thing turns into something that when you get older, this is something y'all gonna want to come to. So let's just start to get our groove on, put the kids away, it's all good." He started throwing these parties back in 1998, and the last official party took place in Los Angeles in 2009. They were attended by a ton of A-listers, including Leonardo DiCaprio, Mariah Carey, Tommy Lee, and the Daily Mail included other photos as well that are probably too inappropriate.
One of the biggest shocks in this case is a lawsuit filed by former dancer Adria Sherry English. In court papers, she describes how Combs hired her for legitimate gigs in 2004, nothing more than a few $100 to dance by her third party. She says things turned ugly.
Wildly shook at this. You're going to want to hear this. One of Diddy's accusers, Adria English, alleged to Lionel B on YouTube that one of the people she was trafficked to at the hands of Diddy was someone very high profile and even royalty. What do you guys think?
Who were some of those major celebrities that Diddy actually trafficked you to?
Jacob the jeweler. Hey, Jacob. The others are from European countries and of a royalty. Very royal. Very royal.
Like princes, that type of thing?
Definitely a prince.
Whoa.
The opposite of being smooth. If you have smooth arms as opposed to...
Actually, when I got there, it was just about dancing. That's all he talked to me about, dancing. He took us all in a room. He's in a room in the mansion. You can see it. We in a room. It's like a bedroom. He was like, get ready, get dressed. And, you know, at the end of the night, I'm gonna make sure I take care of you guys and everything like that. And I was like, cool. I'm from Cali. I'm happy. Looking around, it's all these New York artists, people I grew up on, Diddy. And I'm hyped up. I'm like a groupie in there. I'm not knowing they looking at me like somebody because I came from doing porn. I'm a stripper. Now I'm in my 20s. I'm 46 now. I was 20 something. I'm not knowing they looking at me like a certain thing until now. Mary J. Blige, her original husband that, you know, ended up, you know, breaking up with her. I got Paris Hilton. I got Diana Ross. I got Evan Ross. Everybody. Jacob the jeweler, Diddy. I mean, everybody. I'm just taking pictures.
What were they doing in these pictures? Like, what
in
kind of
these pictures, it was regular pictures.
Okay.
Just at the party, you know, yeah, we doing it, you know, just regular party pictures. Now, Diddy had 3 different stages set up in his mansion. So it's a stage right here, but in his house, not a big stage, but just elevated. He wanted us to be, it's 3 of us. So he had Tamiko right here, me right here, me right here. Our job was to dance for 45 minutes, and then it was literally our job to get off the stage and go drink. When we drink, I felt fucked up. You know, I felt so fucked up because I was paid as a stripper at Larry. I know what it takes to be drunk. I felt way more fucked up. I ain't gonna say nothing about it, you know?
We were instructed to only drink from certain liquor bottles. Girls don't drink the guy champagne. Girls don't drink the boy champagne. And all the champagne was laced with ketamine, like horse tranquilizer, ecstasy. That's not allegedly. We were all doped up. And to this day, I believe we all, and I know I do, have a chemical imbalance. Like whenever I drink anything, it could be 1 glass of wine, all of a sudden I'm a stripper, I'm a P-star, like my mind, I just black out and I'm that. I'm She Diddy. You know, Orlando Brown running around like I'm Puff. He not really act like it to everybody else. Everybody looking like he want attention, like he wilding, like, but it's something about when he you that he stood over you, like infusing himself into you while you laid there unconscious, and it's like it became a part of you, because after a certain amount, they started calling me She Diddy.
She was only 11 years old when she was kidnapped and drugged with jelly beans and flown on a private jet to New York. In that picture, and with the girl on Diddy's lap with the D&G sweater, that's her. She's 11 years old in that picture. They put those clothes on her. They did her makeup.
Key exhibit. In English's case is a Miami booking invoice from July 2004. It lists Beyoncé Knowles as the performer and names Jay. Carter as her manager.
I guess the audacity of me thinking I could just come in some little go-go shorts and a bikini top to somebody's exclusive white party with all kind of millionaires, and I'm a guest of who? But I'm their guest, and I'm gonna just show up like that, not a nice, elegant gown or nothing. I'm gonna just show up all hoochie mama? No. I was on his event staff, but that's how they got away with putting me in there without trying to give me no employee credit. Right. And then I found out later, another reason why they put me in the Vibe magazine, and so all the guys who wanted extras would know who to look for at the parties and to laugh at me, because they took advantage of me after they drugged me and I was unconscious. The Fed said, well, allegedly, I'm not gonna say, someone said that when they did the raid, I'm on them tapes and there's multiple A-list celebrities running a train on me. including certain people.
As Jay became more involved in Beyoncé's career, an insider told Celebuzz that Beyoncé's dad was pushed to the side. The insider added, "There's no bigger controller than Jay. Beyoncé is great, but she'd be a little lower on the totem pole if it weren't for hooking up with Jay." The insider said Beyoncé went from being under the control of her dad to being under the control of her husband. And as much as she wanted to make her own decisions, there was always a man around pulling her strings. Beyoncé severed ties with her dad and fired him as her manager in 2011 amid accusations of theft. She now has her own management company called Parkwood Entertainment. Beyoncé said she had been through it all in terms of betrayals and heartbreaks. She wrote, "I have had disappointments in business partnerships as well as personal ones, and they all left me feeling neglected, lost, and vulnerable." In another essay, she wrote how coming from a lineage of broken male-female relationships, abuse of power and mistrust affected her. Many people hoped Beyoncé would break free from the generational curse that appeared to be wreaking havoc in her life. But instead, she and Jay welcomed twins in 2017. And if you watched our Jessica Biel and Justin Timberlake video, then you've already heard the term Band-Aid baby, which is a term that's used to describe a child that's conceived in order to help a couple's failing relationship. Were the twins Band-Aid babies? We're unsure.
More concrete, we dug up a paparazzi shot from South Beach in the summer of 2003 in that photo. Jay-Z sits at a VIP table with Diddy, Russell Simmons, Andre Harrell, and others. He's dressed in a dark suit, leaning, in eyes trained on the action. A lesser-known snap from August 2004 shows Beyoncé near the stage at the same venue, eyes locked on security. No one denies she was there. The invoice confirms it, and the booking confirms that Jay-Z in his role as her. Manager signed off on it.
Yeah. And it's different than when it was 2016. You know, the game has been elevated. As we can tell, there's no expense being spared. We had a black billionaire.
Wait, so hold on. Why is there chatter about Jay-Z being in the same club as Diddy? Allegedly, it's because of his interest in young girls. So rumor has it that Jay-Z exploits young women in the industry, young enough to be his own daughter. Now, if you've been following Jay-Z closely, you'll know that he's far from the wholesome family man he portrays himself to be. So Jay-Z has been under scrutiny for quite some time. Do you guys remember when he was romantically involved with Foxy Brown? Yeah, she was just 15 years old and he was 27. That raised more than a few eyebrows. But wait, there's more. Jay-Z maintains close friendships with Diddy, Russell Simmons, and R. Kelly, each of whom has faced allegations related to their relationships with underage girls. Now, with fresh evidence coming to light, it won't be long before Jay-Z has to address these shady connections to Diddy.
You want to know why there is no vindication for me? Because for 4 years, I've been screaming, not just Diddy, but Diddy and Jay-Z are monsters. And the victim-making machine kept going on.
Jay-Z has been notable by his silence since these charges were brought against Diddy. Why do you think that is?
Because that's what he does. He starts little fires everywhere, forces everyone involved to go and carry water while he sneaks away without a response. That changes now, Sean. You must respond. You have no choice. Harvey Weinstein, Jeffrey Epstein, Robert Kelly, Sean Combs have one person in common professionally.
This is my boss, my old boss, and my good friend, Andre Harrell. This is Russell Simmons. You know, this is like, you know, it came under his wing, trying to follow in his footsteps for years. They taught me so much. I feel everybody needs somebody to teach them, but you also got to be humble enough and willing to learn.
His learned behavior from the people that mentored him. He learned from Andre Harrell. He learned from Russell Simmons.
When Ice Cube says he never bothered to show up, he's highlighting how seriously Jay-Z took these parties. He managed Beyoncé's spot on the guest list. He controlled where she stood, who she saw, and who saw her. That's the real twist in this saga. The power couple we know for chart-topping hits and billion-dollar tours also held roles behind the scenes at the most secretive parties in hip-hop.
You know, they was doing their thing, I was doing mine. And, you know, I'm not the partying type. You know what I mean? I ain't never been to a Diddy party. I ain't never really wanted to go. But I don't go to a lot of people parties. You know, that just ain't what I'm in it for. You know, you've been to one, you've been to them all.
Are you surprised at what things are coming out with Diddy at all, or you like you have no idea? It's none of my business. You'll live longer. So kind of like the mindset.
I mean, surprised. How could you be surprised with anything that happens in hip hop? You know, hip hop is the Wild West. So you're gonna have the good, you're gonna have the bad, you're gonna have the ugly.
You think he's being targeted, or some of the stuff he's got, you know, there's credibility on what they're coming after him with the tapes and the feds and raiding his Miami home, his LA home?
And what did her parents think about her dating someone 12 years older than her? Despite Jay leaving the streets behind and making positive changes to be a better person, it appeared that